I'm saving my love for you and you and you and you.
April 19, 1941. April 19, 2021. It is exactly 80 years since I landed on this planet. Welcome to my little bungalow here in Las Vegas, New Mexico. And to my celebration is kind of a birthday present to myself. Now, one day, this may turn into a full-blown production on a stage with lights and you in my audience where I can see you. But for now, I'm doing what I love best. I'm performing for you, not acting a role, just being myself. Another thing I love doing is performing with Mark. And what better song to get started than Blue Skies? Blue skies smiling at me, nothing but blue skies do I see. Bluebirds singing their song, nothing but bluebirds all day long. Never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. Noticing the days they're hurrying by, when you're in love, oh my, how they fly. Blue days, they've said goodbye. Nothing but blue skies from now on. My first public performance is when I am in the 2nd grade. We put on a circus and we invite our mommies and daddies. My classmates do acrobatics. I'm the ringmaster, probably because my voice carries and I like bossing people around. Well, now as the ringmaster of my life, I'm going to show you just a few scenes so you can figure out how I have become the woman I am today. To use another circus metaphor, I'm on that tightrope of life that goes from birth to death, and I'm more than halfway across. I can look back and I can look forward, but never down. When I'm 26, I spend 3 months traveling solo from London to Greece. I am a solivagant. Isn't that a wonderful word? It means a solo traveler who likes discovering new things. Oh, that's me. In Roma, I spend 1 week in the company of a gorgeous young Roman barone. Now, I know that Italy has not actually recognized royalty since 1948, but that isn't slowing him down. He picks me up every night in his red sports car, and we hit the clubs. When we enter, the bands immediately start playing his song, Parole. He invites me for dinner with friends. He picks me up in that car and races me fast up and down the 7 hills of Rome to his friend's house. Then we ascend 3 flights up to a rooftop terrace where I see a dozen gorgeous young Romans. Someone offers me a glass of Prosecco. Grazie. Now, I don't speak a lot of Italian, so every once in a while I just insert the word, oh, certamente. Our host invites us to the table. It's a long, rustic, wooden table without a cloth and beautiful cups, beautiful stemmed wine glasses, and in the middle of the table, lots of bottles of wine. My host says, Elisabetta, as he picks up 2 bottles of wine, rosso o bianco? Oh dear. Well, I don't know anything about wine, except that you drink red wine with meat and white wine with fish. So can I ask him, what will we be eating? Conversation stops, jaws drop. Everyone is amazed or amused at my question. He continues, Elisabetta, cosa preferisci? Oh, I don't have a preference. Rosso. He fills my glass with a dark red vintage. Now what? Oh, here's to wine, red and white. Years later, I return to Roma. This time I stay with my dear friend Suzanne. And while she is painting in her studio, I explore. I buy a ticket for the metro. And at the top of the escalator, I see a handsome, dark, slim, young ticket taker. As I proffer my ticket, he looks at me intently and says, "Splendid eyes," in Italian. I descend the escalator, but my spirit is soaring, and for an entire day I thrill to his words as I discover the Etruscans. When I get back to the American Academy, my friend Suzanne says, "Beth, you're confused. He was just hoping that you would have a splendid day. You misunderstood. Occhi is eyes, OG is today." Well, I may have misunderstood the words, but the look in his eyes followed me all the way back to Chicago. I get a job working on a daily interview show at WBBM TV, an affiliate of CBS. I meet a young, dashing Swiss attorney. Well, not dashing. The Swiss don't dash. He lures me to Switzerland. We marry and have 2 wonderful children, Sarah and Thomas. But for this exuberant, spontaneous, blonde American woman, putting down roots in the rocky Swiss soil is difficult. When Sarah is a teenager, I'm already in my 40s, she says, "Mommy, you're not happy as a Hausfrau." She is so right. Wait, I have a master's degree, I have a Phi Beta Kappa key, I have worked in television and taught public speaking at the college level. Why don't I have a career helping the staid, reserved Swiss learn to speak in public? A week later, I'm at a luncheon, and I see the most powerful businesswoman in Zurich, at the table, and there's an empty chair next to hers. Okay, I realize that to get what I want, ich muss über meine eigene Schatte gumpa. That's Swiss German, and it means I have to jump over my own shadow. The shadow? Well, you know, that's our fears, our uncertainties, our inhibitions. What will the neighbors think? So I go over and I say, may I join you? Oh, well, of course. Now, who are you and what do you do? Oh, well, my name is Beth Urech. I have 2 children and a cat and a... I jump. I train people to be effective speakers. Fabelhaft! You must do a workshop at my next international symposium. Send me your brochure. I don't have a brochure. I don't even have a company. That night at dinner, Thomas says, Mom, why don't you start a company? You can call it Speak for Yourself. I do just that. And my first clients are very happy when, because of working with me, they learn how to speak for themselves. They are well positioned and they spread the word. Occasionally I have setbacks. An arrogant industrialist hires me to do a one-on-one session with him. So I go to his lavish conference room. I set up my camera, my TV, and he comes in and says, well, Mrs. Urech, sit down. What are you going to teach me? Well, sir, we could work on that speech that you're going to be giving. I could talk to you about stride and glide and how to connect with the WIFM and maybe paint some, oh my goodness, I am just like a little puppy dog. After only an hour of working with me, he insists that we go for an early lunch, and when we finish, he ushers me back into the conference room and says, Mrs. Urech, send me your invoice. Goodbye. Oh, what a lesson I learned. When he came in there and told me to sit down, I should have stayed standing. I should have said, well, sir, what do you want to learn? I need to be in control. A couple of weeks later, I'm at a Swiss-American business lunch. An arrogant headhunter says, Mrs. Urech, tell me a little bit more about your hobby. I am livid. This is not my hobby. Speak for Yourself is my newfound career. I return home and say to my then husband, Dan, I need to be taken seriously. I need to become incorporated. Well, he's an attorney, so he draws up the papers. We send them off to the proper authorities who refuse to let me use the name Speak for Yourself, which they consider is an English coined phrase and reeks of free advertising. We appeal. The case eventually ends up at the Supreme Court in Switzerland. And we succeed. The newspaper headline says, Eine Firma, die für sich selber spricht. A firm that speaks for itself. As Speak for Yourself, I work at more than 60 international companies. I train thousands of speakers. Eventually, I become happily divorced. Now, I'm sure that somewhere down the road, I'm going to find the man of my dreams. But for now, no one to talk with, all by myself. No one to walk with, but I'm happy on a shelf. Ain't misbehaving, I'm saving my love for you. I know for certain the one I love. I'm through with flirting, it's just in a corner. I don't go nowhere, what do I care? His kisses will be worth waiting for. Believe me, I don't stay out late, don't care to go. I'm home about it, just me and my radio. Hey, Miss Saving, I'm saving my life for you. In the meantime, thank you. In the meantime, I write a book. Well, actually, Hogan Page, a prestigious London publisher, asks me to write a book about speaking. I want to make my book unique. I call it Speaking Globally, and I include 50 country profiles that deal with first names, business cards, dress codes, sensitive issues, how women are treated, so that in all these countries, my speakers know how to adapt themselves and their messages. I really want them to be speaking globally. Well, of course, to do the research, I have to travel. I travel and I work in Asia. One afternoon, I'm free in Beijing, so I hire a car to take me to the Great Wall. Now, I've been told there will be mobs of locals and international visitors. I get there close to closing time. I walk up the steps, up the tramway, and when I get off, I am the only person there. There is not another single solitary soul. It's magic. I walk for a while, and then I sit and sketch. Because when I travel, I always take a sketchbook. Because then you see, what I draw gets embedded into my brain. Oh, I can still feel the power of the Great Wall. I can feel it in my bones. Well, I arrive in Singapore and I check into the Mandarin Hotel. Oh, what an elegant room, and oh, what beautiful flowers. How thoughtful of the hotel. Oh, wait. Welcome to Singapore, Giovanni Brunetti. Giovanni Brunetti. Oh, yes. He's a charming man I met at that lunch in Hong Kong. Oh, I did tell him that I would be lecturing at the National University of Singapore. Oh, I must thank him. I find his business card and called his office in Italy. Buongiorno. May I speak with Signora Brunetti? Oh, he's not back in Italy yet? Oh, yes, if you could give me a number where I could reach him, that would be lovely. I call the number. Mandarin Hotel, how may I direct your call? Oh, yes, I put you through to Mr. Brunetti. He is in room 737. Thank you. Wait a minute. I'm in room 735, the adjacent room. I wonder where this is going to lead. I have a feeling it's going to be a lovely shadow to just glide over. Now, speaking for myself, I must tell you that I have never faked an orgasm. I believe in my body, and I have never given a man the satisfaction of thinking that he satisfied me when he didn't. Now, I've been disappointed, I've been sad, I've been furious, but I figure there is so little in life that we can really control, and we need to have control over our bodies. That's what I do. That's where I take a stand, even when flat on my back. 2 years later, I go to Athens. I'm going to train the senior staff of Opel Elas. And the day before, I set out to discover the Museum of Cycladic Art. But, oh, Oh, I get caught in a downpour, so I head for an open doorway and... Jolly good. What are you doing? Sharing my doorway? I look over, there's already someone else in the doorway. A gentleman, sandals, khaki shorts, beautiful legs, and then one of those little hats that only the Brits wear to keep off the sun. Oh, we chat, and when the rain subsides, we discover the museum together. The next night, we meet in the oldest taverna on the Plaka. We have moussaka and retsina, and then we scramble up the stone steps all the way to the Acropolis. It's full moon. The Parthenon shimmers. Nick puts his arms around me and plants a firm kiss on my lips. I can feel his excitement. Now, Nick's quite a character. He's actually Greek, but he was born and raised in the UK. This is his first trip to his homeland. It's his journey of discovery. We agree that he's going to join me on my 4-day bus tour of the Peloponnese, but first, the workshop. The following morning, I enter the conference room. I see a dozen Greek gentlemen seated quietly, dark suits, white shirts, conservative ties, and at the back of the room, the troublemaker about whom I have been forewarned. Babis is standing there, sullen, without a jacket. I have been told, Babis is from Crete. I begin in Greek. Malene, Elizabeth, agape tin elada. My name's Elizabeth, and I love Greece. And from the back of the room I hear, Elizabeth, she is okay. The workshop is a great success. And then off for my bus tour to the Peloponnese. Nick and I sit side by side on the bus. Oh, we can't take our hands off each other. And at lunch, we escape into a grove of olive trees and embrace. And then back on the bus, I say, Nick, no sex without protection. Oh, fine by me, love. Well, Nick, do you? No, Ducky. Do you? Well, when we get to the village where we're staying, we don't find a pharmacy, but I see a kiosk with all kinds of products. I'm going to jump over my own shadow. Kalispera, do you have condoms? Rubbers? French letters? He and I, but no babies. Oh, yes, prophylacticos. Yes, that's what we need. With prophylacticos, the sex is great. By day, we discover Epidaurus, Delphi, Olympia. By night, we discover each other, and I never fake an orgasm. Now, it's not always about sex. I'm in Paris on a work assignment. I book a ticket to listen to sacred music at a 17th century church. And I decide, dinner beforehand at a local bistro. I order the prefix, pâté de foie gras, filet de bœuf, and tarte soufflée au chocolat. Merci. When I take myself out to dinner, I never take a book along. I sit, I enjoy the meal. I love the ambiance. I let it seep into my soul. Actually, I quite like my own company. Oh, but now I've tarried, and I'm going to be late for the beginning of the concert, or I'm going to have to forego dessert, or... Garçon, would it be possible for me to come back after my concert and have my dessert then? Oui? Merci beaucoup. I go to the concert, which is fabulous. And when I return, my waiter greets me at the door. Bonsoir, madame. He ushers me back to my table, and he asks me how my concert was. Oh, sublime. And then he tells me that my dessert will be ready tout suite. What a wonderful evening. A lovely concert, a lovely meal, all because I asked that question. Well, I love my globe-trotting life, but I miss my coast-to-coast kids. Thomas in LA, Sarah in New York, and my aging mother in Michigan. So I move back to the States. Chicago is the obvious choice. I buy a 4th floor loft in Printers Row, and I head down to the main floor where there's a coffee house, Gourmand. Oh, over there I see a trio of people in an animated conversation. I'm going to jump over my own shadow. Hi, I'm Beth Urech, and I'm new here. What's it like living in Printers Row? That's how I meet a delightful ragtime piano player, an award-winning architect, and a zany yoga teacher. And they become my coffee buddies. But I'm ready for more. I start sailing at the Columbia Yacht Club. I'm ready for more. My daughter Sarah says, Mom, why don't you write a list of what it really is that you're looking for and tack it next to your door, and then every morning before you go and meet your coffee buddies? Oh yeah. Well, actually, I do write a list about the man of my dreams. Tall, lanky, bright, warm, full of wit and wisdom. And I tack it next to my front door and oh, it's the man from upstairs. Hi, come on in. Oh, he gives me a book about sailing, which my friend Robin gave him to give to me. And he asks if I sail. Oh yeah, actually, you know, somebody just gave me a sailboat. I mean, that never happens, but hey, it did. Oh, do you sail? I'm looking for crew. That's when Mark jumps over his shadow into my boat. Just in time, you found me just in time. Before you came, my time was running low. I was lost, the losing dice were tossed. My bridges all were crossed, nowhere to go. Now you're here, and now I know just where I'm going. No more doubt or fear, I found my way. Because he found me then, he found me just in time, and changed my lonely life that lovely day. So Mark fixes the foresail, he repairs the jib, he fixes the engine, and we sail almost every afternoon out of the Chicago harbor. And eventually we sail all the way across to Michigan and back. And that's how we spend the next decade, sailing up the coast of Michigan with trusty boat dog Java. Last year, we buy a bigger boat. Our new boat goes from the living room windows watch for it, all the way into our kitchen. We christen her Speakeasy. We divide the work according to our ability. I'm at the helm. Mark does everything else. I mean, I like being in control, but docking Speakeasy is another story. Just imagine that you're trying to park a big yellow school bus, but the steering wheel is at the back of the bus and you have no brakes. So I have to move the boat into the fairway, and when I get to the right slip, I have to turn 90 degrees and stop on a dime. Still, we love life aboard. We love Michigan's sandy beaches, the lighthouses, the wonderful sunsets across the lake. Oh, you know, if two of my favorite mottos are speak for yourself and man muss über seine eigene Stadt gumpa, the third one that I really like is live your life one sunset at a time. I first see those words in an ice cream shop in South Haven, Michigan. So, that's what we do on Speakeasy. Why then do we spend the other 9 months of the year 6,500 feet above sea level with hardly any water anywhere? Well, it's simple. To avoid Chicago winters. We borrow an RV and get our kicks on Route 66 all the way to LA, and coming back, I get out an article that I have been saving for 8 years from the New York Times. It says, get lost in history in the other Las Vegas. So we pull up in front of the Plaza Hotel. Java and I go in. I know it's a dog-friendly hotel. The master of the front desk gives us the key to room 306 and extra towels for the hot springs, which are gloriously hot. The next day, we head out for Charlie's Spick and Span Cafe for breakfast, and oh, I see some people sitting over there in an animated conversation. They're just drinking coffee. I bet they're locals. Well, you know, I'm gonna jump. Hi, I'm Beth Urech. What's it like living here in Las Vegas? They tell me it's grand. When we learn that Los Tropicales is performing at the hotel bar that night, oh, we extend our stay. When we arrive, the place is hopping. We dance the night away. And then we head back to Chicago. Halfway there, I muse, oh, Mark, Las Vegas fascinates me. Oh, Beth, he says, you're just having another one of your flirtations. In another 2 weeks, you will have forgotten Las Vegas, and you'll want to move someplace else, like Croatia. Well, I'm not so sure. So we take another look. We rent an apartment, and 8 months later, we buy this little bungalow. Oh, from day one, we've been welcomed with open arms. Mark plays with Highlands University Jazz Ensemble. He started Contrafact Jazz Band. I write a column for the local newspaper, The Optic. I promote projects, and I am Contrafact's in-house torch singer.
Yes, yes.
I don't believe in fretting or grieving. Why mess around with strife? I found Las Vegas, the original Las Vegas. I found a simple life. Some find it pleasant, dining on pheasant. That stuff rolls off my knife. Just serve me pozole and guacamole. I found a simple life.
bungalow small is what we wanted, not one that's spacious or wide. A home that brings with joy and laughter, and our out-of-town guest inside. Santa Fe is for some folks. We love Las Vegas, free from the care and strife. Sounds corny and seedy, but yes indeedy, we found a simple life. Now during the pandemic, we've been taking daily walks up and down the Guyanas River with Java leading the way. We are so eager to remove our masks and see our friends and neighbors' smiles, but only when Fauci gives the all clear. In the meantime, as the ringmaster of my life, I've learned how to speak for myself, how to jump over my own shadow, and how to live my life one sunset at a time. When I look back at that tightrope, I look back with gratitude. I look ahead with exuberance, and I look up once again to see the blue skies. Blue skies smiling at me, nothing but blue skies do I see. Bluebirds singing their song, nothing but bluebirds all day long. Never saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. Noticing the years, they're hurrying by. Now that I'm 80, oh my, how they fly. Blue days, I've said goodbye. Now that I'm 80, I'm flying high. Thank you. Thank you so much for celebrating with me my 80th birthday. And may you be flying high wherever you are on that tightrope of life.